Hi guys, welcome back. It's me, the Introverted Wanderer again. This time we're going to be talking about airline travel. Thank you. Yes, you're too kind. It's so great to be back. To those who have subscribed, thank you so much. If you haven't yet, just click on the subscribe button down below. You'll get notified when I post new videos. To those that watch my videos and have given me some support, as well as left comments or text messages, leaving things on Facebook or my Instagram, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you. So this time I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit really quickly about air travel. I promise I'm not going to put you through another 20-minute video. That's kind of rough. I apologize. Anyway, basically, the airline travel in the United States is set on a hub and spoke system. So it's pretty easy to kind of figure out who flies where, what, when, and how. And then what you have to do is figure out, well, where do you live? What's the closest airport? Are there other options? Is it better, like if you live in North Carolina, to drive to Atlanta rather than fly out of Charlotte or Raleigh? Or in my case, if I live in Washington, D.C., is it cheaper for me to maybe fly out of New York City because there may be bigger hubs there or airlines that might have cheaper flights? Like my flight to London, I paid, I think it was around $540 for round trip to London. Out of Newark, and we flew British Airways. It was actually cheaper for me to buy an Amtrak ticket to go to New York and catch that cheaper flight on British Airways out of Newark than it was for me to even try and fly out of DC at the moment. So just remember, like, there are other options. If you live close to one airport, it does not necessarily mean you have to fly out of that one. If you live in a spot that really it is only one airport, sorry, can't help you. What might help you is learning how to check out these websites and apps that are out there to kind of help you make better decisions, as well as to keep an eye on the price of flights and to notify you when they are dropping, when they might rise, and when might be the best time to buy. So my personal favorite in terms of apps that I use to watch flight prices is Hopper. So think like a rabbit. I think it's a little orange app. And it works. It works on the iPhone. It works on Android. It works on Windows. It does not work on a computer. It's an app, and that's it. But what you can do there is actually go through, pick certain dates, date ranges, cities that you want to fly out of, cities that you want to fly to, or very specific dates, and just say, this is what I want. And it will actually watch it for you, and it will consistently send you updates and alerts letting you know the price of this flight has risen, the price of this flight has dropped. As well as, we think it will go lower, we think it's not going to go any lower than this, or it's about to go really high, you need to buy now. The other thing that watching your flights through that app is going to do is you're going to start to pick up on these tendencies and these patterns that your flight prices are going to go to. So like when we were watching our London flights, it might go up $150 and then a week later it drops $250. And then, a week later after that, it rises 75. You'll start to kind of see the ebbs and flows in terms of pricing for the flights. And then you'll know, all right, now's my time to buy. As well as the app will kind of let you know that too, which is great. So another app website that I like to use is Airfare Watchdog. And the great thing about this one is it will send you, it is relentless in sending you emails letting you know basically you will set an airport or a city that you're going to fly out of, or that is your like home base, right? And what it does is it will send you emails like 2-3 times a day, and you can tell it when to send and how to send and how frequently you want it. It will send you basically with a list of, here's all the domestic cities and here's all the international cities that we have found, and here are the prices, and we feel that these are great prices. The other great thing is it tells you very specifically what dates those prices are available, where their systems found it, what airlines, and if there are any catches that might go with it. So you can literally straight from there go directly to, it's generally going to take you to TripAdvisor, Expedia, one of those. My recommendation would be find the direct site or the actual airline that it's telling you to book on, and go search on their website. Now the thing is, you might save a little bit of money by going to Expedia, TripAdvisor, Travelocity, Priceline, like whatever it is. in my opinion, it's not going to be enough. Sometimes it gets to be a headache if there's an issue and you're having to deal with two different entities, right? Because you bought from one site and then you're flying through an airline that you didn't pay directly. So it can be a little dicey, and I may talk a little bit more about these websites a little later. But I love these websites in terms of TripAdvisor. I live on Expedia because it gives you just a vast amount of knowledge, and you can kind of go through and say like, oh, well, here's the ones that are flying cheap, here's the ones that are nonstop, here's the ones that might be a little bit more expensive, but I like the airline. And then my advice is use that as research and then go directly to the website of the airline that you want to book on and book through there. You're not going to save a ton of money by going through those sites without having to basically just say, I'm willing to pay $100, give me whatever airline and whatever, and then whatever time, and then you don't get to pick your seats and all that kind of stuff. And we'll go through how to save money on picking seats and all that fun stuff later. My other big word of advice is when you figure out which airports you're willing to fly out of or you might be closest to, find out if they are a hub for a certain airline or a mini hub for a certain airline, and join that rewards program or that frequent flyer program. I'm a very brand loyal individual. You will consistently see me in Nike. I wear Nike because I love it. It's like all their products I've been really happy, so I don't go anywhere else. But now when it comes to airlines, I will actually pay more money to fly Delta. When I lived in Minneapolis is a Delta hub, back to the Northwest airline days. And so I flew them consistently, just because they had more flights going to North Carolina or any of those three airports in North Carolina that were easy for me to get to home from. So I just ended up with a great relationship with Delta. Anytime I did have a problem, they were really quick to fix it and to solve it, and I rarely had a problem. So I joined their frequent flyer club, and I've gained a ton of miles. When I moved here to DC, I was actually able to book a one-way ticket for free using miles, and then also to upgrade for free. So for those of you that might say like, I don't fly enough to become like this level member, I'm never going to get a free flight out of this. That's not necessarily the case, because there are other ways to earn points. Like I earn points when I use Lyft, it goes to Delta. You can have credit cards that'll send it to a certain site or to certain airlines. You can rack up miles, and again, sometimes it's not all about the free flight. Sometimes you might be able to rent a car for free. Sometimes you might be able to upgrade for free. Just research the different frequent flyer programs. Now, I'm a guy that if I fly on an airline and I'm not a member of their frequent flyer program, I'm joining it. I want to get credit for what I'm doing. And then see, like if I like this airline, like I flew British Airways to London, I loved it. So I will actually start to look, if I'm ever going to that side of the pond again, at British Airways, because it was really a great experience. I loved pretty much both flights, but the things that I didn't like were because we had a guy sitting between us that like just spread out. Like the flight over there was a hot mess. I will talk about that in my next video when I go over my trip to London and Tenerife and share some great videos and pictures with you guys. So now that you've got all this info, like what do you do? Well, my thought and what I do is I just kind of flood it with all these different cities. Well, this is a place I'd like to go. This is a place I'd like to go. And then Airfare Watchdog is great if you can travel quickly, like at the drop of a hat, because a lot of their prices that they're going to find that are cheap are going to be like last minute deals. So for example, I got an alert when I lived in North Carolina about an $85 round trip direct to Chicago out of Charlotte. And so my boss was great. I told him, I said, hey, I got a flight for $85, and I bought it, but if I need to, eat $85, that's not that big of a deal. So he was great and let me have the time off. And so I just went to Chicago on a whim and got to see a few friends and to experience that great city. I checked out all their museums, and again, was there by myself, introverted wanderer. Remember, we talked about this in the last video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Anyway, just strapped on my headphones, my backpack, and just checked everything out all by myself. It was amazing. Anyway, so that's kind of a little bit of advice, kind of quickly and condensed about what are some options to be able to find flights and stuff like this. Now, in terms of like trying to pick your vacation destination, yes, I am fully aware you guys might not be close to a major airport. It might not be easy for you to get to a major airport. The other thing is you guys might have families or traveling with multiple people. It really is like, throw it out there. You never know what might happen. I have seen airline glitches that we got alerts on Airfare Watchdog that people were buying like $40 round trip tickets to Europe, $100 round trip tickets to Australia. Like, these glitches happen, and that Airfare Watchdog site will let you know when it does. And again, like if you buy a ticket that's $100 to Australia and you can't get off work, there's worse things than being out $100 and at least putting yourself in position to get that opportunity to go somewhere cool. Okay, so now you've kind of figured this out. You've got all these prices and you're just inundated with info and numbers, and it just is like overwhelming sometimes, right? So a big thing that you need to remember is read the fine print. So a lot of these prices are going to be your most basic tickets, which sometimes means you're not going to be able to pick your seat. You're going to have to pay for your baggage, which is kind of everywhere. But read the fine print. And if it means that you need to go to that airline's website just to investigate more, go do it. There's nothing worse than thinking you got a really cheap ticket and then it ends up being like $200 more expensive. So for example, when I booked my tickets to London this past, my last trip that I took, I think my ticket was about $420, $430. And that was basic economy. So what that meant was I did not get to pick my seat, or I didn't get to pick my seat. I had to pay to pick my seat. But what it gave me was one carry-on, at least in terms of a wheelie bag, and then a backpack, which I have about 17 million backpacks. So I was good to go, right? I picked my backpack, I could pack more stuff in, and then I can do a 10-day trip with a wheelie bag easy. Remember, I'm like, when you're traveling, unless you're going for like a family vacation and going to visit friends, if you're really going to go and explore somewhere, it should be somewhere that you probably don't really know anybody, or where you're going to get out and you're not going to go visit all the time. So to be honest, who really gives a two poops if you're not going to see these people again? So pack 2 pairs of pants, definitely pack enough underwear, like be nice and kind to everybody. Socks, a couple shirts. You don't need a whole lot of stuff. You can always do laundry again. You're not there to impress people. You're there to experience what you're taking in. So literally, like, I think I took like 3 pairs of pants, a couple of button-down shirts. We were doing a few things that we might need nicer clothes. I had a swimsuit for Tenerife, a couple t-shirts, and then plenty of underwear, and I think like 1 extra pair of shoes. Like, I didn't even have to sit on my bag for a 10-day trip to get it to zip up. And coming back, even with all the stuff that we bought, we were good to go. Didn't need to check a bag, so that saved on that. My picking my seats were a little bit more expensive, and it ended up coming to around, I think it was like $540 round trip direct from Newark to London. And if you ask me, like, that's a steal. If I had that opportunity again and I had the time off, which I'm saving up for that, that's not a bad like 4-day weekend in London either. Although London can be an expensive city, and again, we'll talk about that in my next video. But always read the fine print, because, right, there's always a catch. There's a catch to everything. You just need to be aware and as educated as possible when making these decisions. So let's kind of recap what I've talked about, right? So you've got Hopper is a phenomenal app. Go download it, play in it, check it out. They're adding hotels to the list of things that they'll watch and give you price alerts on. Use those websites like Expedia, Priceline, TripAdvisor, but use them more for research. Again, that's a personal preference, and then go book directly on the hotel or the airline site. And then Airfare Watchdog, I think, is a must. And set up alerts with your home airport or the airport that you want to watch, and just watch what happens. Like, some of these fares are ridiculous, right? Like, I've seen $40 fares to Orlando from Greensboro, round trip, right? But again, be educated about it. Check the fine print. Is it one of the airlines that charges for carry-ons? If it is, then maybe it's not such a great price. So you need to know what you're going to be paying on top of that. why you do it. And the great thing is, the more you explore and the more you check things out and the more you read the fine print, all of a sudden you'll be able to look and say, well, this is airline A. I know they're going to charge me for this, so I don't like that price. Wait a minute, airline B has it for only $25 more, but that's a savings of like $75 when you add in my flight, or you add in my bags and pick in my seat. And then if you're traveling with multiple people, right, like you want to make sure you're close to each other unless you're okay with that or you really don't like each other, and then that's your own business as to why you're traveling with them. I can't help you there. So just a quick recap, a quick video. Again, I'm not going to throw you under the bus on another 20-minute video. If you like what you heard, if you have any questions, put them down in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Go check me out on Instagram. I'm posting more and more pictures. They're going to be kind of random because I'm kind of a random dude. I am on Twitter. I throw a little bit out there every now and then. I don't use that so much for work or personal use, but I'm trying to get back into it a little bit more. So go find me on there. All of my links are down below. I still am on Twitch. I have not uploaded or done anything new there here for a while. I'm still waiting to purchase some devices so that I can at least talk to you guys while playing games, or vice versa, or trying to figure out a way that I can record and go live on Twitch here at the same time. So again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please share this out. Tell your friends, tell whatever, anything you guys want to talk about, whether it's travel, hotels, sports, I'm all about it. Go find me on Instagram, go follow me on Twitter, and let me know what you think. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time. Hey!